Hey friends, Dave here at Transfer Express, and today we are diving deep into a comprehensive look at how you could sell t-shirts online. Now, whether you're printing custom apparel for other people or starting your own t-shirt business or clothing line, we'll lay out a roadmap to follow to get you set up for success. Now, with many ways to print and sell t-shirts online, we are going to focus on the methods that will help you minimize your risk and maximize your profits while keeping turnaround times quick and the quality of your finished t-shirts up to standards. We'll cover and compare online platforms to sell on, printing and fulfilling your apparel, along with tips and tricks, as well as some tools for automation that you could use to scale and simplify the many hats that small business owners wear. So are you ready to learn more? Let's jump right in. Now, before we start exploring the wide world of e-commerce and apparel printing, I first want to cover one of the most important aspects to success with selling pretty much anything, and that is your audience. Now, you need to know who you are selling to. Essentially, who's buying your products and why. Now, this is your target audience. And narrowing this down to, say, just a geographic area in your local community, some specific interests or hobbies is really going to help you convert and sell more apparel. Now, many of us already have interests, professions, or communities that we could lean right into to get started. Think things like sports in your local area, or maybe sports you participate in, anything local centric in your community, personal interests like golf or even like pickleball are great markets, maybe even something like gym gear if you're going to the gym all the time, or something that's adjacent to it like motivational or positive vibe quotes or something similar. You get the picture. Odds are you probably have an audience in mind, right? Now, leveraging your own interest or hobby could help you select the better products too, like moisture wicking apparel for a fitness line because you like wearing that light moisture wicking apparel when you're working out. Now, a defined target audience also helps us craft more relevant products and get better ROI on any advertising spend too. So in exaggerated cases, some examples would be like, you're likely not going to sell tank tops at a ski resort, or metal band style black t-shirts with big graphics to, well, local schools or kindergarten or something, right? Use examples, images, and branding that is relevant to your target audience, and that's going to help drive sales. So if you don't exactly know who your target audience is, let's back up and just start right there. Now, to get started selling online, you're going to need the first piece, and that is an online storefront or website, essentially somewhere where you could host your products and handle all of your transactions, allowing your customers to essentially give you money for your product. Now, luckily, there are three fairly simple ways that you could stand up a storefront and sell apparel or kind of anything online, and that's through a few different platforms. Now, the first being your own website. There are platforms out there like Shopify, Square, Big Cartel, Woo, Wix, and others that make this pretty easy. Now, these custom website and store building platforms are great for your own brand, or if you're a custom decorator, right? Allowing you total creative control of how your site looks and feels, down to even the domain name and much more. Now, while they typically require monthly subscriptions that do vary based on the specific features you're looking for, but for example, say Shopify is $29 monthly to start. And everything is made easy, from checklists to set up products, payments and billing, to in-depth analytics, conversion rates, and seeing all of your sales revenue. Now, you'll also get your customers' information here, valuable for future marketing. And these platforms will also typically include some tools built in for SEO, which stands for search engine optimization, to help your websites and products show up on Google when people search related terms. Now, typically with paid plans, you could list an unlimited amount of products, and aside from the monthly subscription, you'll only pay a credit card processing fee per transaction, kind of helping you maximize that profit, even though you have that initial investment of the the monthly fee of the service. Now, the only downside here is that you do have to drive your own traffic to your website. While the platforms may help you rank on Google for those keywords or specific phrases, you're not going to have scores of buyers lining up at your door, finding you on the internet, kind of similar to how we'll see on marketplace platforms that we'll talk about in just a minute. Now, going this route with your own e-commerce site is great for brands looking to start up with a target audience in mind. You could sell any type of product, custom or not, and you get that nice professional website look. You are 100% in control. From the way your site looks, to customizing the layout, to building product collections, contact us, or even about us pages, it is your site and your domain, which could vary in cost depending on your requested URL, but you could also typically purchase these directly through the e-commerce platform as well, to make it easy, or just connect your own that you may already own. So everything is connected and works flawlessly and looks very professional. Now, earlier we did mention marketplace platforms, and that's something more like Etsy. With maker marketplaces, essentially you're standing up a store on their website. Think of it as a booth at an online farmer's market. Now, the best part of this is that customers come to the platform specifically looking to make a purchase, and they already have a ton of traffic, right? And another benefit here is that they're a trusted site and a familiar brand, so there's less hesitation for those first-time purchases that sometimes come with new, unfamiliar websites if you're standing up your own website. Now, one thing to keep in mind with that too is making it look as professional as possible. So when you're setting up those layouts on your own Shopify or something, make sure you're using high-resolution images and following the professional layouts that they have set out for you, so that customers don't think it looks shady or they think they're gonna get ripped off. Now, some of the benefits of having a built-in audience here on Etsy does make for, well, a lot of competition. Depending on the specific niche or target audience that you're going after, there may be some very similar products already on Etsy. So you're gonna have to find ways to stand out, be it quality, unique designs, your specific pricing, the color options that you have, any customization, etc. So you could optimize your product listings for the best chance of being seen. Number one, like I mentioned, start with quality photos and graphics, or even mock-ups, as these are typically what catches the customer's eye when they're browsing around. Now, another thing to keep in mind on your product listing is search optimization. You should be including keywords that people will be searching for within the product name and the details or description on your product listing. Add in how the shirt fits, or anything else that's going to help your customers feel comfortable that what they're buying online is actually what they're going to receive, which is just good advice if you're selling apparel or really anything anywhere. Now, mention your expected turnaround times and be sure to mention where it's shipping from, because with Etsy, people want to buy local or at least buy in the country that they're living in, so here in the United States. Now, another option for being found is paying for advertising to rank well on the search in Etsy for specific words or phrases, which can really be hit or miss and could be a waste of money if your product listings aren't set up to be the best they can be to convert and get people to buy your products. So set those products up first. Now, of course, you could also drive your own traffic to your store or products from social media or any other marketing that you have, so you're not just limited to the built-in audience, although it's a big plus here on Etsy. Now, there's plenty of full-time entrepreneurs and small businesses selling on Etsy too, so don't think it's just for side hustles or crafters. It is a great platform to grow with, but there are some downsides. While it's free to stand up a store, that's great for shops getting started, you do have to pay 20 cents per product listing with a 6.5% transaction fee on top of that, and then credit card fees on top of that. So while it's super low risk up front with no investment, the service here does take a bigger cut with each purchase. Now, the last way to sell online that we're going to talk about here today is selling on social media. With the rise of TikTok Shop, many small and even large creators and businesses are finding success right on the social media platforms. Now, these stores are integrated with your social media profile and take minimal transaction fees that typically start right around 5%, helping you keep your profit margins high if you are not interested in all of that super detailed analytics or keeping your customer information. Now, the same principles that we covered with marketplaces and Etsy apply here too. Quality product photos are going to be key, along with product descriptions, and with the possibility of a lot of competition, you're going to still want to try to stand out as much as possible. Now, traffic here is driven by your social media, so if you're showing up in a lot of For You pages or have a following with a lot of engagement, this is a great route to get started. Now, even if you don't have a following, you could get started anytime and start to build your following with social content if that's your thing. Just getting started is typically the hardest part. Now that we've covered where to sell, let's talk about printing and fulfillment, or how to get your t-shirts printed and shipped out to your customer. Now, there's pretty much 3 ways that this can go too. Number 1, doing it yourself. Number 2, partially doing it yourself and outsourcing some of the production. Or 3, outsourcing everything and having someone else do everything for you. Now, first, let's talk about outsourcing everything with print on demand, essentially having someone else do everything for you. Now, these print on demand services like Printful and Printify can be hit or miss for startup businesses. It's great if you already have an existing following and customers hungry and ready to buy. But maybe you don't have the time to print or fulfill the orders, and you're not really relying on apparel as a main source of income. Now, with it free to set up products through many of these services, you do have reduced risk, or essentially zero risk but your time. But you are giving much of the profit to the business that's going to be printing the apparel and shipping it out to your customer, leaving very, very small profit margins with single piece orders here and there. Pretty much just pennies on the dollar. Now, print on demand isn't necessarily ideal for brands looking to build a name and or maximize the profit from their sales. While it can help you free up time to advertise and market yourself without having to produce t-shirts yourself, you are leaving a lot of money on the table with all of the printing and shipping out of your hands. Now, additionally, you may run into a limited product catalog. You could only print and sell what that on-demand service stocks, with limited goods outside of apparel, right? So if you want to do any hard goods, sometimes they aren't in their product catalog. Now, there's also concerns about quality, as you don't get to see the finished shirt before your customer does. Not to mention, you're limited to just standard flat printing. There's no specialty effects like dimensional puff inks, no metallics or reflective or anything of the like. And while turn times are typically quick, they can bog down during peak seasons, leading to order delays when you need to be selling the most. Now, with this method, you typically won't have control of any branded packaging or pack-ins like thank you cards, stickers, coupons, or those little referral cards. Those little details that really help build a brand and grow a small business. Now, it's zero investment up front, but smaller profit covered. The next way is the complete opposite, right? Huge upfront investment and maximum profit. This one I like to call the old school way. So this was used long before technology ever made print on demand a thing. With this partially doing it yourself way, you purchase bulk printed and finished inventory up front. So you're gonna need space to store that right off the bat. Now, you'll get bulk discounts from a print shop, which is gonna lower your per piece cost, and it's going to maximize your profit margins from your retail price when you sell it. Now, you just bag the order up and ship it when somebody buys it online. Now, you'll get access to specialty effects, right? Because whatever the print shop could do, you could do, and you'll see the quality from the printer before you ship any pieces to your customer. But the big downside here is that all of that pre-printed inventory is just risk. And if styles don't sell, you could lose a ton of money. From different colorways and sizes to different designs, it all becomes a larger and larger risk with any more options that you add. becoming more and more challenging to sell out, break even, or even make a profit on top of that. Now, this type of printing and fulfillment is typically used by established brands already, or brick and mortar retailers, or even some pop-up shops that require stocked inventory to be on hand so that customers could buy it. But they also have teams on the top of trends that they know are going to sell, an existing customer base, and a lot of upfront capital to invest in stocking the store. For small businesses and startups, this could get very, very expensive up front and leave you digging out of a huge hole with just your first product drop. Now, the last way that we're going to cover here is the best of both worlds, with limited upfront costs and maximum profit margin. And that's going to be doing it yourself. Now, of course, a lot of folks looking to get into printing see something like direct-to-garment printers and think it makes it super easy, which, in a way, it kinda does, if you've got $10,000 plus to drop on a decent printer. And what's not easy is the almost constant printhead clogs, maintenance, and the cost of consumables like fixative and ink. Now, printing a shirt takes a good amount of time too, limiting your total daily output. Now, a big downside to direct-to-garment or DTG, at least with the widely available printers, is that you are limited to only 100% cotton or cotton-dominant blanks. You'll have to learn how to prep the artwork correctly for the best results, the colors and the fidelity, with plenty of troubleshooting, involved on this too. On top of that, for quick turn, you're still going to have to stock blanks on hand, adding to that initial investment. Now, of course, you could learn to screen print yourself, but just like we covered in this video we posted a little while ago, where we compare different screen printed print methods, it's a lengthy process and takes a lot to learn to get it right. It took me 3 weeks, way back in 2010 when I first started screen printing, to get a quality result that I felt comfortable selling just for my band. Not to mention the stock of inks, screens, squeegees, and emulsion that I had to buy on top of the cost of a screen printing press. Don't even get me started with the amount of cleanup involved too, with washing out and reclaiming screens being a chore not too many people enjoy. Oh, and did I also mention that you need to learn how to prep your artwork for films so that you could actually expose your screens in emulsion to make your stencil? You'll have to learn how to do that too. However, with the setup involved with screen printing, it's definitely more suited for bulk runs anyway. So to effectively and efficiently run an online store with screen printing, you're probably still going to have to buy and pre-print inventory up front, leading, of course, to the upfront investment. I will say that I personally still love the art of screen printing. But when I'm looking to maximize my time and keep my profit margins as highest as I can make them for any quantity of apparel, I turn to the heat press. Now, heat printing on demand has you printing and fulfilling orders right with just your heat press. You essentially have all of the capabilities of other printing and decoration methods with just one piece of equipment to buy. And it's a fraction of the price of one of those direct-to-garment printers. There's no ink lines to clog, no printers to maintain, no messy cleanup whatsoever. You could just buy minimal stock of blank apparel to hold on hand, which is going to reduce your shipping costs too, and keep heat transfers in stock or even order direct-to-film transfers only when you need them, right? Either way, you're only printing the shirt after the order is placed, completely eliminating the big financial risk of all of those unsold styles. All you need is a heat press. You order custom transfers only when you need them and match them up and print a finished shirt only when the order comes in. Now, the most expensive part in t-shirt printing is the blank apparel. And without that design on them, you'll still be able to sell them eventually with another design printed on them. Unlike the boxes and boxes of unsold printed tees from my old band that are still sitting in my garage. Now those will never sell and essentially are a write-off at this point, right? So custom heat transfers are a minimal cost and they're not going to tank your business if a style or design does not sell well. You could even start with just mock-ups online to see what styles people are interested in before you spend money on anything, right? So of course, heat printing is incredibly easy to learn, even if you've never printed a t-shirt before. You'll be printing retail quality prints with just a few hours of plugging in your press. It takes up almost zero space too, allowing you to print from almost anywhere, spare bedrooms, closets, basements, or garages, and is easily scalable to grow with you by adding additional presses. To keep the cost investment even lower, odds are there's a local makerspace or library in your area that has a heat press that your tax dollars are already paying for. So go use it. Now, of course, when you scale, you're going to want to limit the trips to the library or an off-site location, and then you could pick up a heat press in-house. Now, with keeping production in-house, you are in total control of quality before your customer receives your product. You are printing it, so you can ensure customer satisfaction, and you're also able to drop in those postcards and stickers that I mentioned earlier that are important for building that repeat business and building your brand. Now, I know I mentioned direct-to-film heat transfers and screen-printed transfers earlier, like the goof-proof screen-printed transfers from Transfer Express. These give you the same look and feel of screen printing with a durable plastisol ink print, all without the hassle of setup and cleanup, making it easy to just print one when you need it. Now, with a heat press, you have the entire range of heat transfers at your disposal, from applique looks to sublimation, reflective inks, neon, metallic effects, and yes, even dimensional decoration like puff heat transfers. Now, not only do you have a range of inks and effects, but you also have an almost infinite selection of products to print on. From tees to tote bags, hoodies, backpacks, headwear, accessory, and yes, even shoes. If it could fit on your heat press, you most likely can print on it. Now, with a quality heat press, you'll get incredible quality prints that you don't have to worry about, something that a household iron is not going to do for you, right? All of the heat transfers that Transfer Express installs are independently wash tested to exceed the industry standard of 50 cycles when applied correctly with a heat press. Now, of course, you may see some inexpensive direct-to-film printers that you could buy to print your own transfers at home. But again, here you are introducing some hefty initial investments, maintenance, and the need to keep supplies stocked. Now, after all of that, it's quite hard to match the quality of professionally produced transfers with inexpensive machines or the know-how of how to really optimize them for the best quality. Now, keep costs low. Direct-to-film transfers, like our Ultracolor Max that are available from Transfer Express installs, are available as low as just 4 cents per square inch, and they have same-day shipping if ordered before 8 a.m. Now, there's not too many advantages to owning your own printer. If you buy a printer, you're still going to need to buy a heat press to be able to apply the transfers to your t-shirts and apparel. Now, the last thing I'll say about direct-to-film printers and direct-to-garment printers is that they do require climate-controlled environments. So you do need precise humidity and temperature controls to get the best quality out of your machines. And with DTF printers, having those fumes from curing inks and adhesives in your house isn't necessarily something that you want your family to be around. So you're going to want to ensure that you have venting to vent it outside. Now, before we depart too far from production, I want to talk about some general tips and tricks that could get you geared for success when setting up to sell your products online. Now, the first here is keeping it simple with limited styles and colorways. Now, you could start by picking popular colors for your niche or target audience. So, for example, black, navy, or gray shirts for band tees. Neutral or muted colors for nature or folksy-oriented designs, right? Brighter colors, or maybe even tank tops if you are a vacation-based clothing brand for beach gear or anything else like that. You get the idea. Now, of course, you could purchase apparel on demand only when the orders come in, but unless you're ordering a lot of shirts every single day, like $150 or $200 worth, shipping could get costly from suppliers trying to keep your turn times low. So one of the best strategies is just stocking a few of each size in 1 to 2 colorways. It's a minimal investment, and if multiple designs utilize the same garments and those same colors, those shirts will move quick. And that's limiting your risk. Now, for apparel, the best course of action, get a business license, tax ID, and set up accounts with wholesale apparel vendors for the lowest cost. Now, you'll need to set up sales tax on your online store anyway, so you're eventually going to need all of the legal setup that kind of qualifies you for these commercial accounts. Now, without a business license, Or if you're just getting started, right, look for wholesale apparel like we have at transferexpress.com/apparel that offer bulk pricing without the need for a tax ID or a business license. And there, you'll find an expanded catalog of blanks at lower prices than many local retailers or craft stores in your area, who also will only typically carry just basic styles and very limited colorways. You should also set clear expectations for your turn times and manage your business accordingly. So say for orders shipping in the standard 3 to 5 business days, you have plenty of time to source DTF transfers, even consolidating them into the same shipment, lowering your costs. With no minimum quantities, you could order a bunch of different designs all on one order, and they'll group together. Need the same day turnaround? Have a limited stock of transfers already on hand that you could print immediately when the order comes in. Now, my last tip before we move on is don't get discouraged. Keep at it, right? I've talked to so many entrepreneurs and small business owners that when faced with adversity just getting started, they stuck to it. They dug into ways that they could optimize their products or attract new customers or get a new target audience. Now, a good analogy would be if you just start going to the gym. It might kick your butt at first, and you shouldn't be expecting immediate results right away, but consistently and constantly taking these small little steps and showing up every single day is going to get you moving in the right direction. And then you're going to start to see results. It's going to feel rewarding and everything is going to start to click. Now, the process is pretty simple here when selling apparel online, coupled with custom heat transfers and a heat press printing on demand. Now, let's give it a quick run through to see the entire process here put together. First, like many e-commerce sites, and we are using Shopify for our example right here, we have an order dashboard that'll send you notifications when an order is placed. In this order, we have all of the details that we need, all right here. This tells us what items the customer purchased, our size ordered, apparel color, quantity, and the customer's information for shipping or marketing purposes, right? So from here, we could order apparel and transfers, but we've got some blank tees here in a limited stock with us just getting started. And as for the transfers, we sure could send off our artwork to order too. We have 3 to 5 days listed on the product listing for production time. But say, if we're going with screen printed transfers, we've got a small stock right here. Now we're gonna double check our artwork against the mock-up for what the customer purchased and check our print locations too. Here we just have a center chest and an inside tag. Now we're gonna take our transfers and align them to print them. And heat printing is quick, with most transfers applying in less than 15 seconds, and some, like these goof-proof screen printed transfers that we're printing with, they're going to apply in just 4 seconds. And the press opens, we peel the carrier away, and that's it. Our t-shirt is ready to ship. Now here we could add any additional finishing options like hang tags to really give that nice branded look. Now we fold it up and pack it into a poly bag along with a packing slip and maybe even one of those thank you cards or stickers that have a referral code on them for a discount. Really harnessing the marketing power of our customers for exponential brand growth. Now next, we could purchase a shipping label. We have all of the shipping information right here in the order, or in most cases, you could even integrate a shipping partner within the e-commerce platform for an easier workflow. One order right here, done. Profit in our pocket, and right on to the next. No need to change any setup with our heat press. Well, that's pretty easy, right? It sure is. But if the volume really starts ramping up and the process is a lot to keep up with just yourself or a small team, there is an even easier way to automate all of these small tasks that are going to be able to free up your time. Introducing Stahl's Fulfill Engine is a powerful all-in-one print software that empowers both small businesses and large commercial operators with automation and simplicity for selling online. Now, not only does it have an unlimited amount of online stores that you could set up for free too, right? But you could set up as many products as you want, allowing both clothing brands and custom decorators the ability to set up web stores for themselves or their customers. Now, the cool part is when you set up your products in the system, you're actually making the print recipe, not just uploading a mock-up or a fancy image and putting a name to it. You're gonna put in the proper print placement, sizing, and you're gonna get a mock-up automatically generated all in one go. It's just so easy and intuitive. You could even connect that Shopify store of yours too. So you don't have to go in and manually pull all of that order information. The system could pull that automatically. Next, you'll connect your vendors and wholesale suppliers like we talked about earlier, and you'll be able to see live, real-time inventory of every style, color, and size right here in the Fulfill Engine system. So you aren't able to sell anything that's out of stock at the supplier level, immediately eliminating any chance of back orders. But my favorite feature here of the software is that it could take the order from your store and automatically purchase apparel and the correct direct-to-film heat transfers, so they just automatically arrive to you ready to apply. And when the package arrives, you could enter the PO number or just scan it, and the system knows exactly what's in the shipment for easy, simple receiving. Now you could also set it to just batch apparel up and order every day, or even set thresholds to order at certain limits to get that free shipping, or set custom rules that'll prioritize it if it's delivered the fastest or if you want to optimize it for the lowest cost. Now, as part of this, the system generates a QR code with product information for production tracking and more features that we're going to cover here in just a minute. Now, Fulfill Engine could even help you stay organized with integrated staging and inventory. So say those heat transfers arrive before the t-shirts do, no problem. The system's going to assign it a location to keep it, keeping everything organized until all the apparel comes in and you're ready to print with those heat transfers. Now, even if you have some apparel stock on hand, the system could manage the inventory of that too and replenish at whatever low stock level that you set. Now, not only does it eliminate manual ordering and organization, but with a scan-to-print barcode system, you could have easy and organized production on every single piece. Scan the barcode in the production screen here at our heat press, and bam, we have our exact order recalled in seconds right here to see how many print locations we have. And once we're finished, we can mark it as complete, which is going to move to our shipping workflow next. Now here, a simple scan of the barcode again puts us at a final quality check and then automatically generate a shipping label for the customer and group everything that was in your customer's cart all here in the same shipment. Now, as you can see, this takes care of a lot of that manual data entry that could really bog down the efficiency of solo entrepreneurs, small businesses, and even real deal huge commercial print shops. Of course, we just started to scratch the surface of what Stahl's Fulfill Engine could do. There's even a whole trusted decorator network that you could route orders to, giving you access to all of those print methods we talked about, like direct to garment, embroidery, and yes, even screen printing, expanding your print capabilities without the need for any equipment investments or learning curve, truly allowing your business to grow and scale simple and seamlessly. Now with Fulfill Engine, there is an onboarding fee, but there are no monthly subscription fees. You pay a percentage of the sale price when a product sells, and you'll pay credit card processing fees too. But if you're not selling, you're not paying for the system. But like I said, there is so much more to Fulfill Engine, so check it out at stahls.com/fulfill-engine or click the link below to learn all about the range of solutions that this powerful software has to offer. So, how's it going? How are you feeling? I know we just covered a lot, and I hope you've got a much better picture of how to sell printed t-shirts online. Just remember, keeping your costs low helps you reduce your risk, leading to more success and more profit. Go get a target market and get selling. Now, if you have any questions, seriously, just drop them down in the comments below. We love to help out in any way we can. We are all about empowering small businesses, creatives, and entrepreneurs just like you to reach their goals. Now, if you found this video helpful, give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the Transfer Express YouTube page right here to stay up to date on all of the helpful t-shirt printing tips, tricks, inspiration, and education that we're publishing every single week. But until next time, I'm Dave. Happy pressing. Happy selling. You got this.